Friends, today I am going to discuss with you long answer type questions from the chapter The Adventure. The first question is, why was Professor Gayatunde shocked as his train approached Bombay? What did he do? Answer: while traveling in Jijamata Express to Bombay, Professor Gayatunde experienced a strange phenomena. The East India Company, which was supposed to have wound up after the mutiny of 1857, was very much present over there. He was puzzled because as he took a walk on the Hornby Road, he was shocked to see that there was no handloom house building. He found the departmental store of Boots and Woolworth there. He also saw offices of Lloyds, Barclays, and other British banks. It did not look like an Indian street, but like a street in England. Professor Gayatunde was much worried about what had happened and decided to visit the library at the Asiatic Society and find out the answer to the strange experience he was going through in some history books. He resolved to see Rajendra Deshpande, who would surely help him in getting down to the solution of this mystery. Next question. When the train was about to reach Bombay and then at the Victoria terminus, which surprising scenes did Professor Gayatunde come across? Answer: the train came to a station known as Sarhad, and from there Professor Gayatunde began his fantastic experience. An Anglo-Indian in uniform came to check the tickets. The railway trains had GBMR, that is Greater Bombay Metropolitan Railways, written on them. They also had a tiny Union Jack British flag painted on them. Gangadhar Pant saw the Victoria terminus very clean with a smart staff, mainly comprising Anglo-Indian, British and Parsis. Out of the station, he came across the old building with East India Company headquarters written on it. Gayatunde was shocked because East India Company had practically wound up in India after 1857, but here it appeared to be flourishing. On Hornby Road, he found a different set of shops. There was no handloom house building. Instead, there were offices of Lloyds and Barclays and other stores like Boots and Woolworth. These scenes took Gayatunde by surprise. Next question बच्चों, when had the history taken a turn in the past and what What were its consequences? Answer. Gangadhar Pant discovered in the volume number 5 that in the Battle of Panipat, the Marathas had won handsomely. Abdali was routed and chased back to Kabul by a victorious Maratha army led by Sadasiv Bhau and his nephew Vishwas Rao. This book elaborated how there was a power struggle going on at that time in India. The victory of the Marathas was a great moral booster for them and established their supremacy in the North India. It gave a big jolt to the expansion program of the East India Company. The Peshwas increased their influence due to the effective rule of Bahu Sahib and then his son Vishwas Rao in AD 1780. The Peshwas, for political reasons, kept the Mughal regime alive in Delhi because they realized the importance of the dawn of technical age in Europe. East India Company extended its support in providing aid and experts when the Peshwas wanted to set up their own centers for science and technology. The 20th century brought further changes inspired by the West, and India began to move toward democracy. Thus, Gangadhar Pant had a new perception of history. Next question, students. What did Gangadhar Pant discover in the Bahu Sahib Banchi Bakhar? Why was he shocked? Answer. When Gangadhar Pant began his investigations about the Battle of Panipat, he realized this was a turning point in the history. The history books he went through said that the Marathas had won the battle and had a tremendous influence over the North India, limiting the status of East India Company only in small pockets like Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras. India under the Peshwas was not a slave to the British. It had its own self-respect and had allowed the British to retain Bombay as the only outpost on the subcontinent. The lease was to expire in 2001. According to a treaty of 1908, in Baho Sahib Banchi Bakhar, Gangadhar Pant discovered that Vishwas Rao was very close to being killed. It said that Vishwas Rao guided his horse to the melee where the elite troops were fighting and he attacked them. And God was merciful, a shot brushed past his ear. Even the difference of a till would have led to his death. Gangadhar Pant was shocked because the history books he had gone through had a different version of the same event. The Baho Sahib Banchi Bakhar, which he possessed, said clearly, under quotation, and God expressed his displeasure. he was hit by the bullet. All this made him more curious about what the reality of those days was. The next question, students. How does Rajendra Deshpande explain Gayatunde's experience scientifically? Answer. Rajendra Deshpande had to believe Gayatunde when he produced a sheet out of the Bao Sahib Bakhar from the Asiatic Society library. He realized that Gayatunde had gone through a fantastical experience known as catastrophic experience. He had a collision with the existing other world on the Azad Maidan, and when he had previously entered Bombay via Sarhad station, he neither travelled nor was he hit by any kind of madness. He only made a transition to the old world after the collision. He experienced the time of Battle of Panipat because of the catastrophic experience. He probably, according to Rajendra, was thinking about the Battle of Panipat and its effects on India's history. Effect on today's history of India. Gayatunde experienced both the world together. There were bifurcations taking place from this world at different points of time, and Gayatunde had experienced a transition to another world because he was preoccupied with catastrophic theory and its role in the wars. Therefore, the neurons in the brain triggered off his adventure. Students, so with this I conclude this video, and I just wanted to say that in brief you can say that when we see this world, so there are many other parallel worlds, but we can visualize only one world at one time, as happened with Gangadhar Pant Gayatunde. And the explanation given by the scientist and mathematician Rajendra Deshpande that if we fire from a gun, the bullet which has mass can fall here, there, or anywhere, and it will hit the target, or may it will miss the target. But at least we can visualize that with our eyes. Okay, because these are all physical things. But if we fire an electron from a gun, so it can fall here, there, anywhere. And because it is very minute, it can fall anywhere. The same way our thinking, our thoughts, our mind can go to any place. And because he was thinking about the consequences of the third battle of Panipat, which actually took place in 1761, in which Marathas in the real world, in the today's in the history actually lost. Okay, but actually he was going to speak on the topic on 1,000 lectures. What would happen if Marathas won the battle? So then he started, and at that time he was being, a truck collided with him, and he actually lost his consciousness. He became unconscious, and therefore he started to visualize another world. So I think you have understood all the everything, each and everything of this story, And if you have any kind of doubt, you can contact me on phone. You can ask me. I will definitely always available for you to give the answers. With this, I conclude the video. Thank you very much for listening, and happy learning, and have a nice day.